Hello, I'm Mr. Nicholson. This week's lesson is on value. We are doing this assignment. You can find this on Teams under the assignment. We are doing a value scale, and we are also doing the sphere. So your assignment will end up looking like this. So let's get started. Supplies are right here. The pencils that I use you can get at Dollar General. This is a 10-piece pencil sketch set. You have your graphite pencils here, which I'm going to be showing you guys in this class. Blending stump or a Q-tip, either one. And you have a hard eraser and a soft eraser and a pencil sharpener. So again, I got this at Dollar General. Wherever you want to get it, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Walmart, it's up to you. So I'm using a 2B pencil. And this is a graphite, so that means that it's soft lead instead of the hard lead. But you can use a number 2 pencil until you get your pencils. And a sketchbook. It can be any sketchbook. You can also get a sketchbook at Dollar General, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Walmart, any one of those places. So the first thing we're going to do is the value scale. So you're going to draw 2 sets of boxes. And you see how I'm holding my pencil? I hold my pencil like this because it makes it easier to draw lines when you're using your whole arm. This makes it easier to draw a line. So instead of constantly trying to do this, I can just draw a line. Makes it a lot easier. There's a line in the middle. And then there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 boxes. So we're going to do 10 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Again, this scale that we're doing is called a value scale. So I'm going to write value scale at the top. Value scale. Value scale just means dark to light, darkness to lightness. So we're going to start at the top. This top is the darkest. This is black. So when you're shading, I usually shade with the pencil on the side. So I just pick up the pencil like this, and then I use my finger to press down. You're going to press down to make things dark. And it's black, so I'm going to want to press down pretty hard. Just like that. Okay? What I do to this side, I'm going to want to do to this side. Just like that. This is my darkest dark. So if you think about things that are dark, like a tree, and you're sitting under a tree, you're sitting in a shade. So that's what this is called. When it's dark, it's called a shade. And this is the darkest one, so this is black. Just like that. Okay. The next thing I want to do is the value that's in the middle. Well, the thing that is in the middle is going to be gray because it's not white and it's not black. It's in the middle. So when you mix black and white together, let's say with paint, it's going to make gray. So that's what I want to do in the middle, is I want it to be gray. So I'm not going to press down very hard. So I'm going to come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, and I'm going to make this gray. Okay? So this is gray, this is black, this is white. These are all called tones. So all of these together are called tones. Well, in the middle, it's called a middle tone. Two words, middle tone, also known as gray. Just like that. Well, since the paper's already white, we don't need to do anything with this bottom, except label it. The brightest brights, if you think about a window in a car that blocks the light and reflects it, it's very bright. Well, that bright light is called tint. And that our brightest bright is going to be white. Okay. Well, remember, a value scale goes dark, gradually goes to light. So I'm going to go from gray to the black. So I'm going to make this next one a little bit darker than this one. And remember, when you're shading and you want to make something dark, you're just going to press down a little bit harder. Like that. And it should look a little bit darker than that one. Do the same thing to this side. Okay, now I'm going to want the next one to be a little bit darker than this one. And then I'm going to want this one to be in between this and this, as far as the tone. So it's going to be pretty dark, but not as dark as the black. Dark, but not too dark. Just like that. Okay, my pencil is not getting very sharp, so I need to sharpen it. you're going to go from gray to white. So I'm not going to want to press as hard as I go to the white. So I'm going to not press as hard, but I just want it to be a little bit lighter than this gray. So just a little bit lighter than gray. Okay? And then I'm going to do it even lighter. And then a little bit lighter. And then barely anything at all. Just like that. So I see a lot of lines. Well, this is where your blending stump, so if you have this set, this is where you're going to use a blending stump. And the pencil that I used, again, is a 2B graphite pencil. So you see that you have your graphite pencil up here. It says 2B. You even have a 6B that will actually get pretty dark. But we're using the 2B right now. But what I'm going to do is want to blend this together. So the blending stump, instead of a blending stump, I have some Q-tips. And Q-tips work fine. So I'm going to start from the white, and I'm going to start blending it towards the dark. So I'm going to use a clean Q-tip and blend all these lines together so it's nice and soft. And then just like the pencil, I'm going to press it a little bit harder to make it dark. So just a little bit harder as I keep going up to make it dark. And then black. Just like that. So again, I used a light Q-tip, so I have a lot of graphite on there. So now I want to, on the other side, use a clean Q-tip because I want it light. I don't want it to be dark. So I'm using my clean Q-tip, blending that in light. Just pressing a little bit harder as I go up. Just like that. And then we are all done. That is your value scale. Okay, the next part of understanding value is to take what we have learned, lightness to darkness, and put it on an object. So we are going to draw 2 boxes, and we are going to draw this sphere. So I'm going to draw one box up here. And I'm going to draw a box down here. And remember, just by holding my pencil like this, I'm able to draw lines a lot easier. Okay, so, well, the way you start your sphere is you're going to start with a circle. So, I'm going to draw a circle. Again, holding your pencil this way makes it a lot easier to draw a circle. So So I drew the circle up there. Now I'm going to draw a circle down here. Just like that. Okay. Now we have a shadow being casted. You can see down here, light is casting a shadow onto the object. That creates a cast shadow. So I'm going to draw the outline of the cast shadow, which is an oval shape, just like that. I'm going to do the same thing down here. Okay, now when I go to shade the sphere, I want to pretend like there is a light, like a lamp, shining on the sphere. Just like that. So light is now going onto the object. So imagine a little lamp coming from one direction, lighting your object. Okay. Now, as light travels across the sphere, there's going to be a point where the light can't reach. That's going to be your core right here, which is the darkest part. So your core is going to be about right here. This is where the light is not able to reach anymore. And I'm going to shade that part. And it's going to be pretty dark because the light can no longer reach that side of the sphere. So it's going to be pretty dark. And if you remember, your darks are called shades. I'll do the same thing up here. I'm going to press down hard to make it pretty dark. Now, just like we did on the value scale, from a shade, we are gradually going to make it lighter. So I'm not going to press as hard, and as I come towards the light, I'm going to gradually make it lighter by not pressing very hard. I'm going to gradually make it lighter. There's going to be one spot where the light can't reach. This is called a highlight. And then this core shadow is called a core shadow. Just like that. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing up here. Gradually make it lighter as it comes towards the light. Just like that. Now again, I said the object, when the light is shining on it, is going to cast a shadow. So since it's a shadow, it's going to be dark, it's going to be a shade. So now I'm going to shade that cast shadow. I'm going to do the same thing up here. Remember to press down hard to make it dark. Just like that. And that is called a cast shadow. Shadow that is casted by an object. So, now what happens with light is when light hits a surface, so we have light hitting this surface, light will bounce off of a surface and reflect onto an object. So on this side of the sphere, it's going to be a little bit lighter than your cast shadow and your core. It's still a shade, so it is dark, but because there is some reflective light, it's going to be a little bit lighter than the cast shadow and the core. Just like that. I'm going to do the same thing up here. Just like that. Now the last thing we have to do, we're going to label this. This is reflective light. So I'm going to label that reflective light. But I still have to blend. Remember, when I was done with everything, I don't want to see any of these lines. So I'm going to grab another Q-tip. I'm going to start where the light is, because I have a clean Q-tip. Blend it all together. Just like that. I'm going to do the same thing up here. Get the clean side. Start at my lightest spot, called a highlight. Shade around it. Just like that. And that is your first lesson on making objects look real. So when you are finished, it should look like that.